What's up with it, y'all, man? We here with the guy, Buddy Love, Fitness and Meal Prep, man. We back. It's the Money Bag Association podcast. We switched it over. It's no longer smoking and rapping. I know I've been gone for a minute, but you feel me? I'm back. I took a little hiatus, you feel me? I had my son, so I'm trying to let him get older and shit, adapted, you feel me? Help out the lady, make sure she ain't too stressed, make sure I'm not doing too much. If anybody who had a kid and shit know how that shit go. But I actually switched to the Money Bag Association podcast because it's more branding for the company. You see, we got the merch and shit like that as well. Y'all tap in with that. And I take it that way because, you feel me, smoking and rapping is cool and all that shit. But I switched to the Money Bag Association podcast so it could be strictly about the company. It's just the company's podcast, and that'll just be me sitting down with other people I know that have companies, and we vibing about we talking about business, you feel me? Things that help their business, things that might help my business, why they started their business, things of why I do the things I do, shit like that, you feel me? So we gonna get into Buddy. Off the back, you feel me? It's Buddy Loves Fitness and Meal Prep. So the guy, he brought me some food, man. He got me some turkey and string beans, you feel me? Like, people know if you working out, you feel me, you gotta eat right. You know what I'm saying? That's a big part of working out. Like you could work out every day, but if you eat McDonald's and shit, according to Ocho Cinco, that shit don't matter. But if you work out every day, and you eat McDonald's and shit like that, the shit kind of ain't gonna really be what it's supposed to be, what you're looking for when it comes to your body and whatnot. So we're gonna ride up. I'm gonna try some of this food, and I'm gonna ask Buddy some questions.
I want an honest opinion on that food too. You're gonna put on the fake, no cap. There's no cap in fitness. You feel me?
Turkey could have been a little smaller. I like my meat a little smaller, but the green beans is on point. I really, if
Man, one little baby turkey.
if a motherfucker doing green beans, they gotta put some flavor in there, so it'll be right. But right off the back though, what made you get into fitness?
All right. So we're gonna take it back to like childhood. It's hella funny. Not too many people know this. When I came up on like listening to rap and shit growing up, this boy 50 Cent, his whole shit was like he was hella hub and he got shot 9 times and lived.
Yeah.
First thing I thought was, if I'm buff enough, it don't matter what the fuck happened to me. I'm gonna be straight.
Yeah.
And obviously I didn't stick to that for the rest of my life, but that was the first thing that made me think like, damn, being in shape and, looking good and being in shape was a good thing. Like, it might protect you or whatever, what I mean? That was the first time I thought like that. Now, since then, like, I've played high school sports, college sports, basketball and football. And I never really cared that much about the actual sport itself, but just feeling like, oh, I'm that guy. This is what I'm doing, and I look good doing what I'm doing. So it took me a long time to realize that that's the part that I cared about. Cause like I said, I went all the way through college playing basketball, and it was just about, this is that guy that's doing what he's doing. So at the end of the day, I had to realize, like, fitness is what I cared most about.
More than sports.
More than sports. And after college, it was the pandemic that really brought it to light as far as me turning into a business. Because I used to do music and all these other different things. And I'm a regular guy just like anybody else, so, regular jobs. I noticed after the pandemic, all the gyms closed. In the gym, the job that I was working at, they started buying equipment from gyms that was closing from the pandemic.
Yeah, getting it for a good price.
So they were right. Yeah. So they was buying all this equipment, and we all started working out together with this equipment that they had bought from the gyms. And then so at some point, everybody stopped working out, and I was still going. And then I was looking at myself, and I said, damn, well, shit, I done made a little change from what I looked like before pandemic. Everybody was putting on weight or losing weight or whatever, not at their best. And then I was feeling myself at the time, and I was just like, well, shit, I still got this gym in my face that nobody working out at but me. So I asked my bosses at that company, like, hey, if nobody else is working out at that gym, you mind if I use that gym to like just work out or let other people work out that I know? You know what I mean? And they was cool with it. So it all started with a person that I used to work out with. Her name is Jayla Jones. Shout out to her because she had faith in me. She was noticing what I was doing because I was posting that I was getting right, and she was like, "Okay, I see you. I've always been a skinny motherfucker."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was putting on a little muzzle. You feel me? They was seeing the kid. So I said, "Hey."
We just feel fuck about, like, I'm gonna let you know.
Hey, I'm trying to tell you that's the shit. Hey, so she was like, I noticed what you're doing, and I want to give it a try, see if I can work out with you. And I said, well, I don't sell fitness, like, you know what I mean. I'm not a trainer necessarily, but this is what I've been doing with these people that I know. Well, the people that I know just so happen to be people that were competitors in bodybuilding, and physique was the main part that they were dealing in. So, anyways, they taught me all the different workouts and whatnot. So I got with her, and I had her doing all the workouts.
So
And
this was like originally you didn't even like. It kind of like you started the company like on accident. You know what I'm saying?
right, I was just trying to get right myself.
Yeah. And then people like just start hitting you up trying.
Right,
to
and then somebody that I knew.
There's a lot of shit get started like that though.
No,
Great
definitely.
shit get started like that though.
Definitely. And I wasn't still thinking like, oh, this is what I'm gonna be doing. You know what I mean? So she came in, and I looked at it like, oh, this is somebody that's gonna make me be even more on my shit. She want to get right. Now I gotta be more on my shit. When she training, I'm going harder, setting an example.
Yeah.
So in that time, she lost a lot of weight, and I have on my Instagram, you know, her transition. Okay. She was the very first person, and then from there, I had a guy. Neil's Kicking and Barbecue. I want to give a shout out to him. Right down the street from where I was working. I told him about what was going on. I first met him. He said, hey, what's going on? You're a handsome gentleman, whatever. It's a white dude. And he was like, you know, what you got going? Randomly. And I was just like, hey, my job put together a gym because all the companies were selling their shit. We all started working out. Nobody's working out no more. Now I started training my old coworker, and she got in shape. And he told me, hey, you might as well just start training people.
Yeah.
And I never looked at it like that, like, you know what I mean? And obviously COVID was going on, so like I said, all the gyms was closing and whatnot. And then so as I just kept training her and helping myself, people started reaching out to me, and I just took it from there. I said, you know what? I'm gonna expound on this opportunity. Why not? That's just the hustler's ambition in me. Like, you know what I mean? I've always been an entrepreneur. So ever since then, I just looked at it like, I'm going to use this opportunity to make sure I do what I need to do within myself. And if I could do anything else from there, why not?
That's real. And would you say, like, when you actually started getting the clients and shit like that, would you say that's what motivated you to say, okay, fuck it, let me come up with the name, let me get the food tied into this? Like, where did the food tie into the plate to where you was actually, okay, you was working? Because I seen it too in the beginning when you was working at the people, you had them in like a different spot. They was moving tires and doing all type of different shit like that. At that point, I believe it wasn't food involved, right?
Right.
It was just like you was just working out with people and shit like that.
Yeah.
So at what point did it click in your mind to say, okay, let me take it up even more or a notch to involve food into the company as well? Because we know food is a huge part of getting right and having your body look right. Because without putting the proper things in your body, you're not really, you know what I'm saying? The workout kind of be for nothing to a certain extent.
Right. No, that's a fact. So where that came into play was, it was really hate that started that. There was people reaching out to me like, oh, you training people now? And, you know, they got to be eating this and that to get right. Hey, and not even knowing that I don't train. I'm not a trainer. You know what I mean? I'm not a trainer, bro. I'm trying to get right myself. After the pandemic, trying to get my shit together. Somebody reached out to me, want to get their shit together. Now we getting our shit together. Together.
Yeah.
And then first thing a motherfucker want to do is they hit me and say, hey, you know, if they're not eating what they're supposed to eat, they ain't never gonna get to where they need to get.
Yeah.
And then I said, well, damn, like if that's the image that I'm promoting, then everybody looking at me crazy. Like, well, let me at least try to eat right first. And then I want to give a shout out to George and Bo. They had, you know, they've been cooking forever. Everybody know that's from the Valley. Know that they do their thing, they put their thing down. And so I was doing meal prep with them for the longest time. And they ended up going out to Alaska. They be doing their thing, hustling, grinding, getting their money, which, you know what I mean, I ain't never got a problem with. So I said, okay, let me figure out a way where, well, shit, do I know somebody that could throw some shit together that could be fire and make sure it's what a person needs to get how they trying to get, you know what I mean? And so I started searching amongst all the different local chefs because I like to support local business. Everybody know that's what I do. I do promotion for all type of, you know what I mean, whether people cooking and goddamn cleaning. I done all type of promotions. Everybody from the Valley, you know, I rock with the Valley tough. So, anyways, I knew this one chef, and I was like, hey, you know what? I got a meal prep that have been put together from somebody that does competitions, does shows, and they focus on physique. So they said, this is what I ate specifically to get right before a show. Yeah. So they gave me that meal plan, and I took it and I gave it first, and I want to say first to one of my clients that I actually was training. And she got so busy with the clients that ended up coming in that I had to reach out to Chef Mia. Shout out to Chef Mia 279, and she wants you to know that that's what it is. So go look her up on Instagram.
So that's
Chef Mia 27, huh?
That's why she made this one. I mean, right
Yeah, yeah. That's the one that hooked that up right there.
Okay, Chef Mia.
She doing her thing. No, she doing her thing. Definitely.
We doing it right.
And
I might have to sit down with you, interview you too.
Hey, no, definitely doing her thing. Definitely doing her thing. So it's like I don't never want to be half-assed with nothing. And my whole idea, once it got to the whole I have clients now and now people doing meal prep, it's like I want to be here for the regular person. It's not about somebody that's trying to
look like a superstar.
Right.
Rihanna body.
All this damn viral bullshit, motherfuckers jumping over skyscrapers and all this silly shit. I'm being
I would say
dramatic.
do honestly, bro, and getting healthy though. In a sense of the people you see with the perfect bodies, it's either one, they kind of have been working out or playing sports their entire life and their entire life, so they have that perfect body. And then you got some people who just, me personally, I think that some people, they know the proper water, sugar, calorie, all that intake to where they balance it out throughout the day probably, and they walk and burn the right amount of calories every day to where it keeps their body looking a certain way. Because I notice with me, and I work out on a regular, no matter how much I will go to work out on a regular, because it's sometimes I smoke, so I will always still eat some sweet shit. I'm gonna eat some ice cream. I'm
gonna eat the munchies.
Yeah.
No,
so I'm always gonna still have a little bit of something right here. But I can still do the same ab workouts like a certain motherfucker.
No, definitely. It's all about where you want to be.
But as far as like looking wise, you see certain people, they 6-pack show just on a regular, and it's the proper body fat that you have. You know what I'm saying?
It's all about what you claim you want to do. I tell all my clients at this point, and I'll even use it for me as an example. I wanted to be as big as I could be originally.
That was your original goal.
That was my original goal. How big can I get? Because like I said, I've always been scrawny. So
yeah.
Now I'm at a point where it's like I want to try to get as cut as I could be, and like you said, that's where the food comes in. So it's like at the end of the day, you have to look into what is going to get you the goals that you trying to reach. And when I talk to my different clients, there's some people that they don't give a damn about their stomach. They want to have the biggest booty that they want. You feel me? Or
trying to do squats.
Or if we're talking about a male, you know what I mean? They want to have the biggest arms they can have. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like at the end of the day, I'm going to ask you what you want to do, and we're going to go for that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to me, don't never set yourself for a goal that you know you can't reach with the actions that you're taking. If you're not serious about what you're trying to do, you know what I mean, then you're never gonna reach where you're trying to go.
That's real. So let's get into this a little bit. So you didn't actually did you ever any point once you started the company, did you ever say fuck it and actually take some classes and shit like that to get licensed and shit like that?
Oh, definitely. Okay, so as far as so I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah,
so,
we gotta let people know.
No, yeah,
Is
definitely.
he licensed?
So so in California it's interesting. I actually looked up. You don't have to be licensed to actually personal train people.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. This is the thing with that. Most of the people that I've known growing up, from football coaches to whatever in sports,
Yeah.
none of them people have licenses in personal training. And they tell you what to do all day.
Yeah.
Or you run into somebody at the gym and they're like, "Oh, you should be doing this or whatever." None of them people have licenses.
Some of them, the ones that actually work at the gym, some of them. And then you see some people that work at the gym, they don't even look at shape and they tell you that.
And that's the thing. So this is what, so like I said, I'm glad you brought that up. So my biggest thing was I reached out to several people that have businesses in Modesto, which is where I'm from, and just around, and to talk about that and let them know my journey and asking if I could be under their wing to get into what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean? And the first person that I brought it up to, the first thing they did was gave me Fitness for Dummies. The little book, Fitness for Dummies.
Okay.
So I was reading that, and then I'm reaching out to these people, and there's people that was like, "Oh, you can't just pop up and decide you want to train people, blah, blah, blah," whatever the case may be. But then, like I said...
I mean, to a certain extent you can, and to a certain extent you can't. It depends on the type of person you are. If you've been an athlete your entire life, it's like transitioning from playing football to being a football coach. You know what I'm saying? Or any sport. If you've been playing this sport your entire life, and you may have got injured, or you may didn't get to the level you might have wanted to, and you say, fuck it, let me transition into some coaching so that I can help some younger cats so they can get to where they where I didn't get to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can do that. You can't just say like, you can't just pop. But I will say, if you do want to start training people, and I'm not saying this for only diversity, you know what I'm saying, for anybody, you will want to at least have some level, a good level of training to the point to where you know what you're talking about when you're working with people versus the proper sets, reps, how much calories you should be burning, how much cardio you should be doing, how many hours per day you should really be working out, how many times per week you should be working out, how much you should rest, all this type of shit. If you don't know none of these type of things, you shouldn't have no business in any type of fitness. Correct. But at least if you at least know that, you can at least, because there's some people who don't have any type of athleticism, fitness training, ain't never got off the fucking couch for nothing.
Right.
So those type of people can be trained by a motherfucker that just been playing sports and doing it, because you can teach them the average thing. It's just like a guy, if you get in a relationship with a girl, you an athlete, she ain't never worked out, but she want to work out, she ain't never had nobody to show her what to do.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? You could take that girl to the gym and show her this how you do squats. This how you do this workout. This how get on this treadmill, walk, do this elliptical. You know what I'm saying? You can teach her that shit. And if she do that shit for 6 months, she's going to look a little bit better. You feel me?
Sure,
like, regardless. And I'm not even a trainer, and I could take somebody to do some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's the thing. Once I realized that was the give back that I was receiving from the people that I reached out to that had all those trainers. They went to school and college and whatnot for all these different things. They told me, "Oh, you can't just jump out on social media talking about you're a trainer."
Yeah. Because they look like they've invested years and time and money into their craft.
And I'm not calling it hate. I respected it so much to the point where I told the first person Jayla, that reached out to me that I'm not going to charge you. And then for a whole year, I had a Snapchat filter putting everybody that was working out with me in colors. Colors, you can't even see who they are, their whole bodies, for over a year of them just training.
I kind of do remember that.
Yeah, all filters. I got them all still on my shit. So they running stairs and doing all the exercises that I told them to do, and then I showed later their transformations.
Yeah.
So I did that for a year to show people that what I'm talking about works, and nobody has ever been injured dealing with me or doing none of that. And then the worst part about it is,
So how long has Buddy's Fitness? Would you say how long would you consider yourself being in business?
so I would say I've been actually in business charging since about a year ago.
So about a year. And so what's your average going rate for a person call you tomorrow morning and they say, hey buddy, I'm trying to get in there 3 days a week. When I get off of work, man, I wanna get my body right. I wanna get my stomach a little smaller. How much is this gonna cost me for an hour session every day when I get off of work? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'd say it depends on where you're at. First of all, so I still work full time.
Yeah.
I do construction, so I mainly work out of Stockton. Is usually my starting point. So if you live in Stockton or you want to be trained in Stockton, your first offering price is $40
Per session.
per session. If you live any direction north or south away from where I live, then that's where it raises up. And anybody that relates to, then you would have to reach out to me. We have to figure some out. But that's usually the starting part of $40, which I feel
So
like
you base it off of basically kind of like mileage per. If you going a little bit further, you're gonna charge them a little bit.
Definitely.
But
Definitely.
if you kind of like in a vicinity where you kind of already at, you get a better price.
Definitely. And at the end of the day,
And that's because you don't work out of the same gym. I know you were telling me you basically.
okay, so
yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. So at the end of the day, so the company where that gym started, after they gave me the ability to train out of that gym, they actually moved, and so from there I started
The gym
training.
or the company?
The company.
Okay, so
The company owned the gym, so they moved,
Yeah, okay.
and so from there I was actually thinking about possibly stopping, and it was that.
It was that wall that you hit earlier when you trying to start a video. Like,
Yeah, it was like, okay, well, this is, I wasn't even trying to train at this, you know what I mean? I wasn't even trying to train, hey, if this is where it stops, then it stops, and I done helped people get from one point to another, and that was good enough for me, because it's serious to me. It wasn't never about money.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was about holding myself accountable and trying to get myself to a better place. So,
But great things started like that. I would say that, bro. A lot of
Yeah.
time, anything, great songs, great ideas, great. It's a lot of times people are just doing something, and then it morphs into something way bigger than what you originally even thought it would be, and that's just because you were just doing something that you genuinely love.
right.
It's just like me and my podcast. It's not like I'm not acting like my podcast is like a great thing like that. But I'm just saying like
It is good.
I initially.
That's
No,
why
I'm
I'm
talking
here.
about. I'm talking about like just like you know what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm not Joe Rogan. You
The
know what I'm saying?
magnitude, right.
But I'm saying like as far as like when I originally started it, same kind of thing in the podcast in the pandemic. It was just like okay.
Everybody was trying to get money.
Yeah, it was.
What are we doing?
And for me, it wasn't even about money. It was just I knew that the shows had stopped. So and that's like my bread and butter.
So what can I do?
So
What can I
like,
do?
What do I do to stay relevant
in this situation?
And,
Right.
and then also I said, okay, well, not only me staying relevant, I can also go help every other business that I know stay relevant as well. And that's why it's like I have my own company. There's no reason why there's a lot of people are not gonna go around and try to promote other companies. But I created the podcast about that because it's just about me sitting down with other business owners and we just sitting down talking business. You feel me?
Right.
A lot of times it helps as long as I do my research and I know a little bit about the business that I'm sitting down talking about, so that we actually can vibe and talk about the shit. But working out, I felt like it was a good starting point back to get the podcast back going because I've been working out consistently myself for like the last, I would say a year, but I would say like the 6 months has been consistent of going at least 3 to 5 days, trying to eat right, trying to get that cardio, that walking in, trying to have proper vegetable and fruit intake.
Did you keep track of how much you weighed and whatnot?
Honestly, bro, I'm gonna be so real, bro. I didn't. Honestly, I didn't. I just What I
notice the
focused on,
difference.
what I focused on because of the fact with me, like you say, you say you've been skinny your whole life, same shit
Right,
for me.
right.
So what I just focused on was like, well, shit, I ain't never been able to lift this much weight. So I know I'm getting stronger.
Big, boy.
Yeah, I know I'm getting stronger. So
No,
that's enough for me to know. I know, bro. When I was in high school, bro, anybody who know me, bro, I couldn't even do the 45s, bro, on each side. You feel me? So now I'm at a point where I can throw the 45s, and I can throw the 25s, and if I want to do a little solid 5 reps, you feel me? That's my max. But I'm throwing the 45s and the 10s on there and throwing that up easy, you feel me? Squats, leg press, you feel me? And I get on there, run for 10 minutes straight on the treadmill, then a little Stairmaster. I do like 10 minutes straight on there. On a good day, I might throw an extra, do the row or the bike on some shit.
But that's my whole thing. Like, you not trying to, go to the league or nothing.
No,
you
for me,
you
it's
care
just,
more about we getting older. You want to be in the best.
I said when I say I'm 32. I want to say 33. I just said by the time I'm motherfucking 35, I say I want to look like I'm 35.
Hey, you want to throw the ball with your kids and run around and fuck around.
And I also, like I was having this conversation with my friend the other day. I also have a big thing about like, okay, when you get to a certain age and you got a girl and you got kids and shit like that, you want to be at a proper physical aspect of yourself to be able to defend yourself if some shit pop off.
Oh, for
it ain't
sure.
No longer,
we don't want to get into that,
and
man.
I'm just saying, because when you're a grown man and there's other grown men and these people are doing the things you're not doing, you don't want to get caught in that situation where you ain't been working out, you ain't been doing no cardio, you don't want to get, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm going to tell you right now.
To at least hold your own in them situations.
If you are any man feeling incapable of protecting yourself or your family, the first person you want to reach out to is me, definitely.
No, but that's like a big.
We gonna handle that.
That's a big thing. You want to get. You want to be in shape, bro. Like, and then also health is wealth as far as like eternal life, living longer. For me, I also started taking working out more serious because I noticed my grandmother lived until she was about 92 or something like that. But one thing I noticed about her in my life was that she always worked out. She worked out or at least walked until she couldn't anymore. Until she was physically unable to do the shit. So I feel like that's something that, you know what I'm saying?
How many kids she have? Because my grandma lived to like 90 something. She had 15 kids.
Yeah, four.
Yeah, but if you live into that age, then obviously you're taking care of yourself.
Yeah, bro,
you know what I mean?
She took care of herself very well. I would say, like, anybody, at the age she was at when she would still go walk miles and shit like that, she was like in her 70s and 80s and like that.
I just feel like it's lost in our community as far as, and not even to make it a race thing, like, it's just our generation, nobody's running around talking about, like, oh, let's be in shape.
No, bro.
Like, you know what I mean? So
you gotta think. It's like you said. You don't like you say. You're not trying to talk down on our culture, but it's just one of those things. Like, we come from a background where we have to work hard.
Oh, that part, and on top of that, is
a lot of
bullshit.
times the motherfucker can't really find the time to just working out into their routine just because they trying to maintain life.
That's a fact.
You feel me? And I will say, like, even for myself, I got to a point where working out became a part of life. Exactly. Where it's just like when you wake up every day, you know that you're going to the gym. If you don't go to the gym, you're not gonna feel the same as every day. You go to the gym, you get your heart rate up, you feeling good. Right after that gym workout, you eating right. You feel me? So you putting the right fuel in your body. So now you feeling fresh. You're not feeling groggy. Cause you feel me? And that's for a lot of people who smoke weed as well. That weed gets you already sleepy and shit like that. So you don't want to tie in that with the fast food too. So it helped to where you eating right with it and doing all that shit too. So it take it to the next level to where you feel a little bit better. That's why a lot of people taking the honey and all that shit, cause motherfucker ain't working out, ain't eating right. So yo, shit, you ain't all right up in there.
No,
you
definitely.
Feel me?
And the inspiration that I try to give to my clients alone, or anybody that reaches out to me about the time that they have, is that's when I let them know, like, hey, I have a full-time job. So it's like I be going anywhere from Fresno to the Bay Area, and after I get off at 2:00, I'm going to Frisco. I'm going to Lodi. I'm going to Sac during the week. This is
for the food drop off or for the working out.
Okay, so for training, I'm available 7 days a week, Sunday through Sunday. no matter where you at. Like I said, it all varies when we talking price, depending on where you at and where I'm at the time. As far as food goes, Thursdays is when I accept all my orders, and Saturdays is usually the day that I try to drop off, and obviously we'll communicate that. As far as what I offer, as
You drop
far
it
as
off at their door?
huh?
You dropping it off at their door?
I did. Oh, straight to you in your hand. This ain't DoorDash. We ain't taking no pictures and leaving. Because
I lost a
because
tip
the
the other
thing
day,
is,
God bless you,
no,
God.
that's a good question. Because at the end of the day, okay, so